We're on section 1.6 on checking accounts. The first thing we have to do is to record the check register correctly. So let's look at some examples. Here in this first one, we're supposed to, it says to find the balance carried forward. So if you notice here, we had 1951.55. We deposited $812.95, and then we wrote out a check for $145.51. So to calculate this, we'd take 1951.55 plus the deposit, $812.95, minus the check of $145.51, and we get $2618.99. Let's see if that's what we had. $2618.99. So for the next one, we would do the same thing. You've got the check and the balance brought forward. Now, in this next case, it gives us what the balance carried forward is, $2256.05. We want to know how much is this deposit. Well, before the deposit, or I'm sorry, after the deposit, we had $2453.83. $2453.83. And then at the beginning we had 1930.26. So how much did we deposit? Was $523.57. All right, and let's see, are there any others? Write the words for the check amount. Okay. So in this case, we would write 300 40-4 and 47 over $100. So that's how you would write the check in words. That looks like the exact same thing, 344.47. Must have been stuck on that amount. I don't know. That amount is not changing. I wonder what I did wrong there. Doesn't appear to be changing anyway. Let's see here. I guess that takes care of that. If you have any questions, oh, yeah, that's 1.6.2. Let's do 1.6.3. Find the final balance of the checking account. Okay, so you start at $2,082.37. Oops. $2,082.37. Then you write out a check for $151.55, and another check for $545.51, and then a deposit of $527.91, and then a check for $58.28. Make sure you add and subtract as appropriate, and then a deposit of $973.38, and you get $28.32. Then, for the next one, Oops. Just a second. I guess that takes care of that. Then we have to reconcile the checking account. And here we go. You can see how the reconciling goes. Oops, just a second here. To make sure I get the whole thing on here. All right. So in the checkbook, she has a balance of $29.72.23. Now, the bank did not have these checks, the 1434, the 1437, and the 1438. Did not have those three checks. And the bank did not have a deposit of $973.38. The bank had a service charge that she didn't know about of $50 and a bad check of $111.93. In other words, somebody had written out a check to Jeanette, but she didn't know that the person didn't have any money in their checking account. Okay, so on the checkbook side, you'd have $28.72.23 minus the $50 that she didn't know about, minus the $111.93, means that her checking account actually has $28.10.30. Now, according to the bank, they think it has $2,051.55, but they don't know about a deposit of $973.38, nor do they know about a check for $76.42 and a check for $32.45 and a check for $105.76. So the bank actually thinks the balance, or the bank actual balance, should be $28.10.30. And if you notice, that is the amount that is the adjusted checkbook and bank balances. Those two should always be equal. This is 1.6 on checking accounts.